Hi, I'm Celeste Guerra. Thank you for tuning in and being curious about what I have to say. Because we are Almiers, and that means people are curious about what you have to say. You are enough. Hello, and welcome to Activate Your Truth. Happy first day of spring if you are in the Northern Hemisphere. So today I wanted to share a story about an eco hike. So this happened a while ago. I think it was in the late spring or fall of last year. But my partner and I were going to go on a hike, and I thought I knew what this hike was, how long it was, what the duration would be like. But as we're going, we start to see that we're not getting to the summit yet, and we didn't carry too much extra water with us, and the elevation has been a lot more intense than we thought it would be. We also didn't bring extra snacks. We had eaten and we had water, but not enough for how long this hike was turning out to be. And sure enough, we started to get to the point where they wanted to turn around, but I started with the just a little bit longer. Let's just get to that next curve, those next trees, and see what's on the other side of that. And we would get there and there would be nothing. So of course I would say, okay, just a little bit more. Let's just see what's next, what's over there. And we got to a point where they said, I don't want to go any further, I want to turn around. You can keep going if you want, but we need to turn around. And I was mad. I grew up with my mom who enjoys hiking, usually where there's waterfalls or water, but where there's a clear end, where there's a clear destination point. To hikes that she's familiar with, so she knows what the journey is like, where the halfway part is, where there's good places to rest, but where she's comfortable and she knows what to expect. And she knows what to expect at the end, that the end will be worth it, that there'll be this beautiful sight or this unique view or something special that awaits her, that makes it worth going. And then when she's done, she can take her time and finish to come back home. I felt disappointed. I didn't want to give up. I wanted to keep going. Yet I didn't know how much further. I didn't know how long. I didn't know what the view even was. I thought that this hike was a totally different hike. I didn't remember what this hike was, or at this point if I had done this hike before. So we turned around and I angrily, disappointedly started marching ahead, wanting to get back to the starting point, to the car as quickly as possible. That's when they called me out for trying to do an ego hike. So here I was upset, thinking that I didn't complete this hike, that we didn't get to hike, because I didn't make it to the end. But what was the end? Somebody had decided that this was the trail, this is where we start, this is the end, and in between is a journey. I knew that my mom would ask how the hike went, and I would report back to her, we didn't finish it, we didn't get to the summit, we didn't get to the end. And I knew that she would be disappointed, that she would say, oh, that wasn't a real hike then. So here I was thinking that I didn't hike. But if I didn't hike, if I didn't go on this hike, what were all those steps? What were all those gains of elevation? What was everything that I had seen from the beginning of stepping out of the car to where I was now? What was all this time if I didn't do this hike? There was a hike. Of course there was. It just wasn't the hike that I wanted, the hike that I expected. The result wasn't the one I wanted. But if I wasn't going to enjoy it, what I did have, what was the point? What was the point of my partner and I taking our time, taking these steps, being not at home in our usual surroundings if we weren't going to enjoy the view. It was an ego hike, as my partner called it, because I was in my mind. I had this expectation that I didn't reach, that we didn't get to do, and because of that, I was discounting everything. The whole experience, the whole journey. Instead of experiencing and being grateful for what we did have. Have you done something like this? Do you set out to do something and then when the result, when the outcome, when the view isn't what you expected, what you wanted, you get disappointed? You think it doesn't count, that it didn't happen, even though it did. Progress was made. An experience was had. Memories were made. And we need to enjoy that. I needed to enjoy that. At some point on our way down, I realized this and I started to enjoy the hike, the views, the trees, the nature, the birds. Be careful not to ego hike. And I want to end this episode with a card. I haven't looked at it yet, but it is the 3 of Sacred Circles. So what's standing out to me is the 3 circles that are shaped in a triangle. So to me, this is representing a reminder that we are whole. We are always enough. We have our past self, our present self, and our future self. And even though they have their own identity, they can seem separate. They're all 3 very important points that make us who we are. They're connected, they're always present, even though it can be very easy, very simple for us to separate them. But they are what create our strong foundation, what allow us to have shelter in the winters. When we are facing hardships, as long as we remember that all parts of ourselves make us whole, make us enough, that is enough of a resource for us to face any hardship. We have all it takes. And sometimes we don't think so, sometimes we don't realize or remember. But we're always protected and guided. In this card, I see the 2 figures in blue on top. So let this be your reminder that you have what it takes, you are what it takes, you are enough to get through the winter so that the spring can come and bring you more joy, more ease, more peace. And take you to where you want to be. I hope that message resonates. Thank you for tuning in. and I will see you next time.